Hello everybody. Hi Paul.
Hi Dan, you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright man,
Yeah,
really
good.
good actually.
Good.
We have today been spoilt yet again.
Yet again.
Yeah, again, a very rare type of shelter actually, which we'll talk about when we're in there.
Yep.
It's a little bit dark in there, but we're alright for light.
We're equipped.
We are in southeast London, I will say.
Yep.
And that's all you need to know. It's actually been well documented, this one, literally recently as of recording this, so actually we're all good in it. But our video today is to purely document it and to throw out as much information as possible. Now obviously we're not going to give away the location exclusively, and if you know, you know, and please keep it to yourselves. Obviously this is someone who owns this house, and fundamentally they're not going to appreciate probably everybody knocking on the door.
Yeah,
But
sure.
here, we're just here to record it and to document it.
Yeah.
We've already been in. It's definitely interesting, and it definitely lines up with what the assumption is, but we'll tell you more about that in a minute. More importantly, should we just go and have a look?
Let's go and have a look.
Come on then. Very cool.
Very cool.
Come on. Hello everybody, welcome back. We have, like I said, been given special exclusive access to document this shelter, and wow, aren't we lucky on this one. It's very different. We're going to talk to you about the history of this and show some really fascinating, there's a fascinating photo obviously about all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking today about, this is what is classed as a Wilmot shelter, an air raid shelter, and for all intents and purposes it would look like an Anderson shelter to most of you, but it's not really. It's a longer version of an Anderson shelter that's intentionally probably hardened a little bit more, and they actually call them Wilmot fortresses, don't they? It was one of the exclusive things, and basically the idea was it was the same as an Anderson shelter in terms of you could buy this, and we know that in this occasion the owner was an ARP warden. So it makes sense as to how fancy this one is, because obviously so we've got the steel from the Anderson shelters you'd normally see on a concrete base, but it would have had a concrete cap over the top of it. Now if you know Anderson shelters, they wouldn't have had that, they would have just had grass over the top of them. So a concrete cap within, then potentially a grass mound on top. So actually a really well stocked up shelter. Yeah. And it's understandable because of the location we're in. We're in pretty much the heart, or part of the heart of London, bombing during World War II. Yeah. So what you've got is potentially you've got an entrance that descends down to, and then you've got actually an escape hatch or escape route out, which fundamentally now is quite funny because it leads into like a little allotment, gardeny, sheddy type thing. Outhouse, and you can see clearly that there's like two little links that obviously you would have steps that you would have gone into, and I sort of noted that actually normally you'd see them in sort of like military structures. A really cool bit of detail from this also is that you can see that there's a lip within the shelter, and that's really where a bunk would have been placed across, and it would have fitted comfortably a small family. Can we say that roughly? Yeah. The only downside is though, what do you think the downside is we're going to talk about, Paul? Well, so it's location.
Explore, isn't it?
Yeah, we're right by a certain river. Again, we're not going to name the river because if you know, you know, but it's a river that can flood, and it will easily secrete the water. And when this was rebuilt, the current owner, thank you Mike for allowing us, the current owner had to rebuild all of this. So he's rebuilt it into a small wine cellar, which is absolutely fine by us, because but it took a lot of effort to waterproof everything, etc, etc. But he's done a great job, hasn't he? Really,
yes,
and he's somebody who loves history as well. So it's as true as you can be true, but also to restore it into a way that it's not going to decay or erode any more than it needs to. But we're right by the river.
It's so close to the river.
And it's a fascinating story. He was telling us that next door neighbours had actually been hit by a bomb that then bounced and hit across the river onto the field, or I won't say field, or the location opposite.
Yeah.
So we know that this area was hit, literally next doors.
Naturally, yeah.
What thoughts and feelings, mate?
Yeah, no, this is incredible.
It really is.
You know, it's probably my first Wilmot shelter.
Probably our last. I mean, they're so rare.
So rare. So it's a really good find. The owner's done so well in preserving it and turning it into what it is today. Just talking to the guy outside, the effort they've gone in to keep the place waterproof, as we say, because of the river, literally 5 feet away from us outside. He's done so well. He's had to put in things in here to help if it does flood, etc. So, but to keep it here, like we say, it's still here, which is the main thing for us.
The other thing we need to know normally about Wilmot shelters also that sometimes they'd have like concrete entrances or concrete blast. It's not just your standard ancient shelter that would normally be built on a plot of land and then you just sort of jump into it with your family, get your bunks in. There's normally like a concrete, I wouldn't say blast shelter, that's a bit extreme, but there's like a concrete frontage sometimes with concrete steps leading down into it. You know, I mean, it's basically just like what they always refer to it as a hardened version of an Anderson shelter. There was no maker's marks. Sometimes you find maker's marks in the steel. He didn't, when he was renovating it, see any, but actually if you look above, you can still see the rivets that were placed in, because as we know, it's a panel goes across another panel and then gets riveted together. Quite straightforward. But it's like I say, it's the escape hatch that they've sort of got at the back, which is beautiful, and then they're lit for this bench. I mean, we're swamped over this. I've never seen... I've debated before that there was another one I'd visited in Western, which was sort of like a Wilmot design, but it's not, because it's sort of like an empty hollow shell. It almost looks like the note that it might have been used as a pig pen. It's quite possible. South East London had a few of these Wilmot shelters, and you could purchase them, etc., etc. Very similar to Anderson shelters. It's just if you wanted a hardened version.
Yeah, it was like the upgraded version.
Upgraded version. That's exactly right, mate. Yeah, well said. So brilliant. Really brilliant with this. Really lucky to have this opportunity to do it. Visit it, just to talk. It's a small shelter, but it's here and it still survives. There's probably rumours that some of the neighbours would have had some as well. You know, again, every other shelter would have been here. You can understand to a degree, without naming where we are, why you probably put this shelter far out of the way. But like I said, as before, I was told, the next door neighbours had one, and that was almost a direct hit, wasn't it?
Exactly.
You know. So fascinating. I think we're pretty much done, mate. If I'm being really honest, it's a very small shelter, but it's brilliant. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, it's pretty. As I say, we've got the escape hatch behind us. We'll show you that in a second. The owner did say that he's made it look a little bit more fancy because it does lead into an outbuilding in the garden. So it's not quite. The size is not the original size, shall we say. He's done good to patch it up, as we say. But no.
Well, massive thanks to Mike, really. I mean, it's really massive thanks to him for allow us to sort of do this and to have this opportunity to film it. And like I said, you know, brilliant that people can do this type of thing.
Definitely.
And if they're going to restore it and turn it into whatever you want. You own it. It's whatever you want it. Rather keep it like this than actually completely demolish it and get rid of it full stop, really. This is a fascinating Wilmot shelter. Brilliant. Like I said, for all intents and purposes, could have been an Anderson shelter, but you can see. Well, where you're standing, actually, Paul, we can see that would have been the length of an Anderson shelter, pretty much halfway down. The fact that it extends out. We've got another portion behind us, obviously, as you can tell. There you go. Well, look. Any more words of Phoenix history? Thank you so much for coming along with us. Hopefully, you enjoyed all the overlays and everything else on top, and obviously. You can find photos via Paul's, via the Facebook, etc., etc. So we will document this as best as possible anyway. But thank you so much for coming on with us. Hopefully you really enjoyed that. Any more words of Phoenix history, because history matters. Thank you, Mike. Really brilliant. Pleasure to have a look at this, and we'll take care. You ready, mate?
Yeah, let's go.
Come out.